Look, if you just do this one thing, this one single thing, it puts you ahead of like everybody. And you're going to hate what it is when I tell you. It's finally snowing. We haven't had any snow. It's the middle of February, and we've had zero snow all winter, which I guess is fine. I'm not a skier or a snowboarder. In fact, I do construction, so I work outside, and so that kind of sucks when it does snow. So it's actually been a lovely winter, but the way I said it to a friend of mine, I feel off balance because it's supposed to be snowing, but it feels like early spring. Well, up until today, got up this morning and it was a blizzard outside, so I guess the groundhog was right. Good for him. And I thought this beautiful snowy morning would be a perfect time to tell you what you can be doing to be better than everybody else. Let's see. Hold on a second. I gotta adjust a few things. Okay. I'm a fitness guy. I'm a coach. I'm a personal trainer. So I got kind of curious about how many people are actually going to the gym regularly. Looked it up. I looked it up. And guess how many it is? It's like 25%, 25 to 30% of people, which is a nice way of saying that 70% of people, well, okay, here was my exact wording. This is exactly what I typed in and what took me down the rabbit hole. How many people, how many U.S. American adults are going to the gym and lifting weights at least once a week? How many people are doing that? And the answer that came back to me was about 30%. 30%. So that means 70% of U.S. adults aren't doing any exercise during the week. That's pretty bad. I think we could do better. I think there's room for improvement. Let's say that. We got room for improvement. If you're one of those people, no shame, don't worry. Well, a little bit of shame, just a little bit, just enough to make you go, yeah, I'm not taking care of my health and I should really start doing that. If you get more specific with the numbers, it gets even worse. So the HHS, Department of Health and Human Services, they're the ones that put out these general guidelines for everybody. And I don't tend to pay much attention to the general guidelines because they're so broad and they're so unapplicable to almost everybody. But they can be telling because I think they know that when they're putting them out, like, okay, we're putting out these recommendations and we need to do like the bare minimum. Like, what could we reasonably expect people to do? So whatever their recommendations are they put out, it's probably even more than that. Or in even worse cases, like the opposite of that. It might be. So, okay, so every U.S. adult, according to the Department of Health and Human Services, should be getting at least 150 to 300 hours of moderate intensity cardio in. Or 75 to 150, did I say hours? Minutes per week. My bad. 150 to 300 minutes per week. Hours. You better hope that it's not hours. You'd never leave the gym, which I guess wouldn't be a bad thing for a lot of people. No, 150 to 300 minutes per week of moderate intensity exercise, or 75 to 150 minutes per week of high intensity exercise, or cardio, that is. What's the difference between moderate intensity cardio and high intensity cardio? Generally speaking, moderate intensity means that it's strenuous, you're breathing hard, but you can still carry on a conversation with somebody. High intensity is like, no, you're not talking to someone. It's way too hard to do that. You're breathing way too hard. and two strength training days a week. So there's your recommendation from the Department of Health and Human Services. I specifically wanted to know about strength training, and the numbers I found were somewhere around 35%. It varied. It was within that range. Now, if we're talking about the people who are doing the strength training and the cardio, basically they're actually, following or even exceeding the numbers from the HHS. It drops down to like 20%. 20% of U.S. adults are getting virtually no exercise in per week. Everybody wants to be different. Everyone's trying so hard to be different and to stand out. Everybody wants to stand out, sort of. People say they want to stand out. Actually, standing out, for most people, is not a good thing. There's a reason that in the wild you get, zebras. There's, every zebra looks almost exactly the same, and they all congregate in groups, big groups, so that when predators come, your chances of not getting picked out and eaten are much higher if you stay in the group. And humans function in the same way. So we say we want to stick out. We don't really want to stick out, though. But for the people who pretend that's a different discussion. What people actually want as opposed to what they say they want. But the people who say they want to stand out and they want to be different, what do? They dye their hair weird colors. They wear weird clothes. They engage in niche activities. The kinds of things that most people don't do. Not even because they really enjoy doing it, but just to be different. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be unique or express your uniqueness. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But let's get real. Are you actually being unique because you dyed your hair and you pierced your nose? Is that really unique? It sounds like you're trying to be unique, but you're doing it in the laziest way possible. Here's a way you actually can be unique, like really unique. Like you will be in a much better position. I was about to say better than everybody else, but I'm going to say it. You will be better than everybody else because it is a moral imperative that you take care of your body. If you want to be better than most people, at least in that way, there's lots of ways to be good or bad. But if you want to be really good in that sense, just go to the gym a couple times a week. I'm going to stray from the government's recommendations just a little bit. They say two days of strength training a week. Here's my recommendation. Just do a little bit more than you were doing before. And if you're doing zero, that's going to be really easy. That's a really easy bar to get over if you are level 0. There is now a level 0. If you are level 0, doing anything would be better than what you're doing right now. That could be as easy as just going for a walk. But here's what I would like the level 0 people to be doing. 1 strength training session a week. Just one. Just get to the gym 1 time a week. Find a gym. Not a nice gym. Doesn't need to be nice or expensive. Just find a nice, cheap little gym, a little hole in the wall somewhere. It's like $20 a month or $30 a month. Whatever. I don't care. Just has all your basic stuff. A squat rack, bench press, some dumbbells, maybe some kettlebells. It's probably got a few treadmills in it. Just a really small, basic gym. You don't need the saunas. You don't need the basketball courts. They're fun, but they come with a price. This is for the people who are going to try and say, I can't afford to go to the gym. Yes, you can. $20 a month. $20 a month. It's like 2 Happy Meals. You can afford that. You can. I think you can do it. Go to the gym 1 time a week. Why 1 time a week? Because it's 1 more than you were doing before. Now, if you've already gotten into the habit of going once a week, you're getting to the gym, you're lifting weights, you're feeling good, well, see if you can up it a little bit. 2 times a week. 2 strength training sessions a week. Then, when you get to 2 strength training sessions in a week, Do a cardio, add in a cardio session, not a long one, just a quick cardio session, or go for a daily walk. Moderate intensity. You're walking fast, but you're not out of breath. Just a daily walk would take care. Hey, you can kill several birds with one stone that way. You can go for a walk. Yeah, that takes care of your cardio. Do it with your family. That's your social time. Do it during the day, so you're getting the sun and the vitamin D on you and whatever. You know, there's lots of benefits to walking. Do it right after a meal, so that the digestion stuff or whatever. Just a daily walk would take care of the cardio portion of that, the 150 to 300 minutes per week of moderate intensity cardio. If it is actually moderate intensity, we're not talking about a stroll. We're talking about a pretty good walk, walk quickly. That would be really beneficial. The strength training, I focus in a lot on the strength training because strength training is uniquely beneficial when it comes to building muscle, being strong, being able to move better. If you watch all these old people and you notice that they can't move, partly because their muscles have atrophied and they haven't kept up on their gym and their protein. So, do you really want to be unique? Do you really want to stand out? I hope the answer is yes. We're Americans. Americans are supposed to stand out. We're not supposed to shrink and hide within the crowd. That's never been the American spirit. So go out there and hit the gym once a week. Here's a little fitness tip for you. The whole video is supposed to be a fitness tip, but I'm going to add an additional one right on the end. A guy asked me a couple days ago, should he be doing high reps with a low weight or low reps at a high weight? So we're talking about either, should his rep range be like 10 to 15, or should it be, 5 and below, like a power lifter? What's more beneficial for building muscle? They're both beneficial. That's the short answer. But here's the trade-off. If you're going to go heavy, if you're going to lift heavy things, like really heavy, I'm talking we're now in the 5 rep range, like a power lifter, that can be really hard on your joints. For a lot of people, if they try and go that heavy, either it hurts their shoulder or it hurts their hips or it hurts their knees. Something starts to hurt really, really bad. That's a good sign that you should stop doing that and switch to lighter weights, but at a higher rep range. Easier on the joints, still build muscle. Yeah, do that. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Go out and be the 20%, my fellow fitnocrats.